So Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania has just released, and I saw it a few days ago, and we do have a review coming out on the channel for that. Should be tomorrow or maybe the day after, I'm not too sure. But yeah, we do have a review coming out, me and Thomas talking about Quantumania and what we thought about it, so stay tuned on the channel for that. But today, the main focus, what I'm going to be doing about is the post-credit scenes. Now, mainly I'm going to be talking about one post-credit scene in particular, which is the first mid-credit scene that we see, and then I'll briefly discuss the second post-credit scene that we did see with Loki and Victor Timely at the end. So yeah, if you do enjoy this video, guys, please like and subscribe, and yeah, let's just get straight into it. So we start off the post-credit scene, or the mid-credit scene, with the Council of Kangs. Now, the Council of Kangs is obviously the variants of Kangs all together in one place, and in this post-credit scene, or mid-credit scene, we see three in particular main Kang variants, and we see Immortus, Pharaoh Rama-Tut, and Scarlet Centurion. Now, all of these, they seem like they are the leaders, and they are the bigger ones of the Kang dynasty, or the Council of Kangs. And they are obviously the main three that we see, and they probably are the ones that are above all of the others. And obviously, I'm going to talk about one in the first one, and then I'll go over the other ones as well. And I think the leader of the dynasty and the leader of the Council of Kangs is Immortus, as we did see in the post-credit scene. And he is an older version of Kang for a possible reality. And he is a wiser Kang who chose to prune away timeline branches in an attempt to maintain an order, which is sort of like the other Kangs that we have seen. Immortus can teleport across time and space and summon an infinite number of warriors from the past, future, and alternate timelines. If he wanted to, he is said to be a master manipulator and prefers to dupe others into doing his bidding. And that is why he probably started the Council of Kangs. It makes probably the most sense for him to start the Council of Kangs, as in the comics he is sort of that manipulator who likes to get other people to do stuff for him. And it definitely does seem like that in the post-credit scene that we see. He was kind of, telling Rama-Tut and Scarlet Centurion what to do. He was sort of telling them to, that he gathered the other Kangs, and that the Avengers are starting to touch the multiverse and everything that they built. So yeah, I think that Immortus does seem like a very, very cool version and a variant of Kang, which obviously we're going to see many of them in Kang Dynasty and other Marvel projects before that. But yeah, I thought that this is probably the best one out of all of them. Actually, no, I'd say Rama-Tut is, which I will talk about now. And before I addressed Rama-Tut, he was, in Moon Knight Season 1, not directly, but he was on the back of the jackets of those people that Mark Spector was fighting. So that is a little Easter egg that we saw in Moon Knight Season 1, and I think that we were always going to see Pharaoh Rama-Tut in the future of the MCU, which is obviously a variant of Kang, which we saw in the post-credit scene. He is obviously the one dressed as an Egyptian pharaoh, and that is obviously Rama-Tut. This version of Kang is the first to make his debut in the comics. He was an adventurous robotics student that turned into a time-traveling pharaoh. He was an expert in all things to do with the time travel. He was a historical scholar, a master, an engineer, and a technician. Rama-Tut is also a future version of Kang before he adopted the identity of Immortus in another universe. As a pharaoh in Egypt, Rama-Tut kept a few allies and used advisors as well as those he enslaved to do his bidding, much like Immortus. After encountering Doctor Doom, he takes inspiration from the villain to create a new look for himself as the Scarlet Centurion. Now, all of these Kang variants that we see in this post-credit scene, it seems like they all link together into one, which is pretty obvious. They are all the same variants, just from different times and different universes, But Rama-Tut actually did make his first appearance in the comics. He was the first variant of Kang, and he actually did fight against the Fantastic Four. So does that mean that in the Fantastic Four, maybe Rama-Tut will be the main villain of that movie, and maybe Moon Knight might make an appearance? I think we do have another video coming out about our predictions for the multiverse saga coming out soon as well, which will probably won't be in a few days. It'll probably come out, but the review will come out first. And yeah, so I think Rama-Tut is a very, very cool variant of Kang, and I think he has a very big future, whether that be the villain of Fantastic Four or he'll play a big part in Kang Dynasty, as we did see the Dynasty in the post-credit scene. Now we have the final Kang, well, not the final Kang, but the final one out of the main three, and that is Scarlet Centurion. The next Kang that we saw is obviously he did seem like very menacing, and that he did want to kill Kang the Conqueror, that we see obviously the main villain of Quantumania. And he is an expert time traveler and manipulator. He has mastered far future time traveling technologies to the extent that he can take passengers or cargo with him when he time travels. He can also create holograms of himself and project them into other time periods and locations to communicate with the people there. Now, this does that sound like the coolest out of all of them. I think Scarlet Centurion will play a massive part in the Kang Dynasty. But I think overall, I think Immortus is probably going to be the main one, seeing that he does seem like, the sort of the leader of this dynasty. And I think Scarlet Centurion, he did look very cool in the post-credit scene. He does have a cool outfit, and I can't wait to see more of him. I think that all these three, they link together, and they all seem like the same sort of, ruling, manipulating, conquerors or leaders, and that is very cool. They have their differences, but they are the same person after all. They are the same individual, just from different times. So yeah, it is very cool to see that, and I did this was my favourite post-credits scene out of the two, and I really did enjoy this one. So now I'm going to talk briefly about, or actually no, I'm going to talk about the other Kangs that we saw. I'm not going to go over who all of them were, but I'm just going to talk about how dangerous they could all be to the Avengers, because we saw literally infinite amounts of Kangs in that post-credit scene, and they all do look very dangerous to, obviously, the Avengers. And he did say that I think Immortus did say that he gathered every single Kang that they could possibly get. So that is terrifying for the Avengers, and I do think it's obvious that the Avengers are going to lose in Kang Dynasty, because I think Secret War is going to be put into 2 parts. So yeah, all these Kangs look menacing, and I can't wait to see them all in action in Kang Dynasty. Now let's talk about the second post-credit scene, which did come surprise to all of us. We obviously didn't expect it. It was obviously something that we didn't know was going to happen. I didn't know that was going to happen. Obviously, I did have the first post-credit scene leaked for me, so I sort of knew that one was going to happen. But I didn't know what the second one was. I didn't know that it was Loki. So yeah, I think that this is a very cool one, seeing that it gave us a sneak peek into Loki and a short scene from Loki season 2. And yeah, the second post-credit scene did hint at another Kang variant that we will likely see in Loki season 2, called Victor Timely. He is a mayor and an inventor. He is also said to be a rival to Henry Ford and Thomas Edison. Victor founded the city of Timely, Wisconsin, which is used as his port and a crossroad into every era in human history, oftentimes leaving doubles of himself as mayor whilst he goes out and conquers other timelines. The city and its inhabitants are unaffected by the passage of time and temporal divergence. So yeah, I think that Victor Timely does seem like we don't see much of him in that second post-credit scene, and I do think it is very cool. He does look very cool in that post-credit scene, and it's nice to see Loki like really scared. It's probably the first time we've seen the fear in Loki's eyes in that second post-credit scene, and it was very cool to see. I can't wait for Loki season 2. I'm sure we'll get a proper trailer for that soon. And yeah, Victor Timely does seem like he is going to be in this a lot. I think Jonathan Majors, it was confirmed that he's supposed to appear in at least 3 episodes of Loki season 2, which is half the show. So that is very cool to know. And yeah, Victor Timely, there is a lot of theories going around, and I do have a theory that I'm not going to say in this video because I'm going to save it for the multiverse saga predictions, because I'm going to say it in that video. But yeah, it is quite a cool theory I have, so stay tuned and watch out for that video, because I think it's a very cool theory. And yeah, I think this post-credit scene isn't as good as the first one in my opinion, but I was still extremely shocked by it and amazed by it and happy for that post-credit scene, because I can't wait to see Loki season 2, and I can't wait to see Jonathan Majors back as Kang again, because I'm sure we'll see Victor Timely, but I'm sure we're going to see the other variants as well, because I don't think Victor Timely is the one that we saw as the leader of the TVA at the end of Loki season 1. I think that is obviously going to be a different Kang. So yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video today, please like, subscribe, let me know what you thought of the 2 post-credit scenes, which one was your favourite, and I'll see you back with another Marvel video soon.